So in this age of information and false news and who knows what, because now you can actually create videos of people and they look totally real. You can sabotage someone's career. You can take snippets of what they said and make them appear to be a racist or whatever you want to. How do you go about navigating those waters if you're a young person? Because they've grown up. We did not grow up with this technology and looking at a screen. I call it flat screen, flat mind. But that's what happens. You're looking at this flat screen all day. This is where you're getting your information, and you are being programmed just as much as we used to call the television the boob tube. Remember that?
Sure.
Marshall McLuhan.
It's been a while, though.
Marshall McLuhan said it's chewing gum for the mind.
Yeah.
You know, and you have 200, 300 channels, and how many times you say there's nothing on? You know.
That's true.
But this programming is so entrenched so early in these children, and they're so many are isolated within the home. Their physical bodies are being tested. This is going to be a real challenge for the next 2 or 3 generations if they can pull themselves out of this. I hope they can.
Yeah.
I doubt they can. I got to be honest with you.
I think we're going to have a lot of problem with fundamentalism in years to come. That's the unquestioned dogma of some group or religion, anybody. And of course the antidote to that is healthy skepticism.
Yeah.
And it's not that you don't have beliefs and you don't have opinions, but you don't hold to them as absolute truth. You're always willing to address additional information that might show that you're wrong. I give you an example. For years and years, I heard that thing about we only use 10% of our intelligence. And it's not true.
No, it's not true.
Okay? And so everything that you think you know is subject to change. But if you're a dogmatist, no evidence can prove difference. You can show the person conclusive proof, and it doesn't matter. Okay? They're locked into that. They're blind, really, effectively.
What's that called? Cognitive dissonance?
That's holding 2 different ideas at the same time, so your mind blows up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I've tried that.
Well, actually, I guess you could have dissonance between your belief and the facts so much that your mind blows up. You know, that'd be another kind of cognitive dissonance. You know, but see, that's the thing: is the goal is to be able to hold 2 opposite opinions in your head at the same time without it blowing up.
You can't hold 2 thoughts at the same time. You really can't. You can go one at a time. You may think you're holding 2 at a time. Well, you can observe them maybe.
Sure. Yeah.
But and that's getting back to being the observer versus the experiencer. So we've mentioned some books, Mark Manson, 12 Rules for Life, Jordan Peterson. I think those are good starting points. Meditation. And if you can't get 20 minutes in your day to be still, you don't have to meditate on anything. I call it contemplation. I don't desire to have a certain experience or to stop my thoughts, because then the desire to stop thoughts is still another desire that I've created. Total stillness for 20 minutes, some deep breathing, and you'd be amazed at the stability and the emotional level that you come down to.
And we've talked about before, another name for it is mindfulness. If the word meditation makes you sound like you're a Buddhist monk, you don't like it, it's mindfulness. It's the same idea. You're creating space in your head for something new. All right.
But don't put anything there. Just create the space.
Yeah. Well, remember the quote. The one thing that we didn't talk about in that quote is that you're holding an idea in your head that you don't really understand. But you keep saying the question over and over, and somehow, I don't know how it happens, all of a sudden it starts making sense to you and you understand it. And it may take a while, it may take a couple years. But if you keep doing it, and that's what he's saying, you'll understand it. A wisdom or a knowing will come to you. And I think that's an important part of that quote. Just because you don't understand something right away, just don't dismiss it. right? Just let it hang around. Keep using it.
Yeah, if you hold, we call them aha moments, something you may have thought about 2 or 3 years ago. Well, I wonder about that. And then something, you go, aha, that's it, that epiphany.
Right.
That's exactly what I was thinking. And that like I said, mentioned before, if you're putting together a puzzle and it's at eye level, it's virtually impossible. But if you project yourself above it and look down, then you can, oh, that fits there and that fits there.
Right. And we've been doing this for how long? 50 years?
Yeah, 60.
Okay. Yeah, we've been doing these kind of things. And we're still a work in progress.
Always.
Right. There's always another step. Right.
Here's another thing I'd written, and you mentioned about knowing. I say, a knowledge that has nothing to do with knowing. So what is a knowledge that has nothing to do with knowing? It becomes a truth.
Yeah.
It's that aha moment. You're not wondering about, do I know it?
Right.
It is just, that's it. You know.
Right. And you also have to incorporate it in your behavior and your actions. And then it becomes truly real for you.
In talking about this and reading some books and the starting point and mindfulness, all that is good. And I strongly feel another element that's so important in this is your physical health. If we're a battery and we have 100% energy, and 70% of that energy is going to maintaining our body and feeding it, and we're going to the doctors because we have arthritis and high blood pressure and heart disease, this is going to be a real tough battle for you to do what we're talking about. If you don't do anything, eat 2,000 calories a day, get 60 grams of protein, and walk a mile, your life will change if you're not doing those things. You've got to have some level of physical endurance to even begin to approach what we're talking about.
Well, responsibility and rules.
Yeah, you
Right.
really do. If you maintain that body and you get up and your heart's pumping and you do 15 minutes of any kind of exercise before you eat or anything, your metabolism's up, you're awake, you're ready for the day. But if you're just going right in front of the television, you're turning on the news.
You're on your cell phone, you're on your iPad.
No, it's
tablet.
Yeah, Jim Quick. Go to YouTube, Jim Quick. You'll see him there with a cell phone. He's your brain guru, and it's about a 9-minute piece. And he tells you not to do anything like that the first hour. Just watch it. It's Jim Quick, KWIK, I believe.
You know, I remember when I was young, I could actually, on summer vacation from school, just leave. And every couple of weeks I'd call home to see everything was okay.
Yeah.
Right? Now, people can't go to the grocery store without making sure they have their cell phone and make sure it's all charged up, and just in case someone might call. I think it'd probably be a good discipline for a lot of people. Just put their phone down before they go out to eat lunch. Right? Don't answer it. Yeah. They're getting hooked on it. Yeah.
I remember many times I went on a motorcycle trip. I left Jacksonville, went across Arkansas, up to Aspen, Colorado, up to Canada, back through Niagara Falls.
Wow, good trip.
Just had a map on my motorcycle. I had GPS, I had no telephone. You know, it was just, people, how'd you do that? Well, let's see, you put a leg over it, you start it, and you know, it was one of the best trips I ever had in my life. And the serendipity of it, I'd be going, I tried to avoid highway as much as possible, and I would just turn down the road to see what was there. And I discovered the Great Sand Dunes National Monument, never even heard of it, outside of Colorado Springs, and met some of the most interesting people and the rangers giving talks at night. I wasn't locked into, I had to be at this had to make good time. Yeah. So live your life that way. The serendipity, if you get held up in traffic, maybe the universe is telling you you need to be delayed 2 or 3 minutes so you won't be in that automobile accident.
Yeah.
The universe wants you.
Yeah.
Wants you to evolve.
Right. Don't be afraid to disconnect from social media and phones and tablets and computers.
No.
It's good for you.
There's a whole world out there, you know. So in essence, what we've talked about is personal development.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to get better, you've got to do things differently. You can't do what you've been doing. You can't get up, brush your teeth the same way, eat the same food, go the same routes, do the same things. Right. You know.
And if you just make excuses for everything you do, you play the victim card, there may be no one to support you anymore in the times ahead. It's going to be up to all of us to take care of ourselves and our family and friends and, you know, our whole social group.
Be that person that if you lost everything, what would you be? And I used to tell my children that. If you lost everything, who would you be? You'd be your reputation, you'd be your grit, you'd be your determination, and you could go back and get those things you had lost. You can earn those. Yeah. It's a good place to be.
Yeah. I remember reading about Henry Ford that everybody knows how successful he was, but they forget to tell you that he went bankrupt 5 times before he founded Ford Motor Company. Just kept doing it.
And when he finally started being successful and built his cars, there were no roads. People don't understand that. Roads were built because Henry Ford built the car.
Right.
There were just trails of horse buggies.
Right.
How would you like to go on that trip in a car?
And there were no signs, Main Street, Elm Street.
No.
Yeah, they used to actually do pictures of intersections so you could see what they look like so you know where to go left or right.
Amazing.
Yeah,
well, we used to rely on our ingenuity. Yeah. Let's get back to doing it. Yeah. Well, thank you for being with us. I'm Jim Clements.
I'm Bob Wallace.
And go to work. We'll see you next time on Hacking the Truth.